Okay. So what is the pending thing we have?
REST APIs.
REST APIs. Right. So what is REST? So they're called as RESTful web services or REST APIs. Right. So what do you mean by REST? So REST is nothing but a protocol, representational transfer state protocol. So what is REST? REST is representational transfer state protocol. Alright? Okay, so what is REST actually? Suppose if you want to transfer your data, or if you want to make just simple calls to your different applications, if you want to integrate from one application to other application, the simplest way of doing is to use RESTful services. Alright? Now we will see how can we implement RESTful web services. But first of all, how can you say that if a service is a RESTful service or not? If a service or any class follows get, push, post, delete, any of these methods, then the service can be treated as a RESTful API or a RESTful web service. Make sense? Alright? Yeah. So now, what are the different ways of implementing a RESTful web service? So we already saw one way. What is the one way?
Spring.
Spring MVC. Spring 3. From Spring 3.x onwards, Spring controllers itself are treated as RESTful APIs. So how can we say that they are followed as RESTful APIs? Because there we can provide the request methods as get, post, and delete. Right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's about it. No. Okay. So are there any ways? Are there any see? If you are using Spring Framework, yeah, then you can use controllers as RESTful web services. Are there any other frameworks or any other way of implementing RESTful web services? Yes. So there are different ways of implementing RESTful web services. What are they? REST Easy. So there is something called REST Easy, and other way is to implement Jersey by using Jersey framework. So we have two different things. There are multiple ways. So out of these are the popular things. One way is to implement REST Easy framework to implement RESTful web services. Another way is to implement REST Easy. Jersey. We already learned about Spring MVC. We treated Springs as controllers and we used them as RESTful APIs. Make sense? So what we will try to do, we will just try to use the first one, REST Easy. REST Easy implementation, and we will try to create a web service. Okay. So first of all, so what is the project we have to create? Maven project. So it's a web project, right? Com dot. So we are using REST Easy. So I'll use REST Easy. Make sense? So this is a web project. We need to add server runtime library. Okay. So we have added the server runtime library. Next, what is that we have to do? We have to create a simple file or simple class file to make sure that it is RESTful. But what are we saying? We are saying that we are using REST Easy. So REST Easy is a third-party framework which helps us to create RESTful web service. So what is that we have to do if it is a third party?
Dependency.
We have to add dependencies. So how can we add dependencies? Just go to Google, and REST is a part of JBoss. So the group ID is org.rest jboss.rest-easy, right? What is the artifact ID? rest-easy hyphen jax rs, and the version is, you can use 2.2.1 dot general development.
It's a rest easy,
Oh,
right?
right. Yeah. Yeah, it is rest easy, not rest easy. Yeah. It's rest easy jax rs. So what are we saying? We are using rest easy API to implement our RESTful web service. Alright, so we have added the dependency. So what is that we have to do? We have to just create a simple service. We'll just create a package. Oops. Now what we'll create? Okay. Service. So I'm just creating a simple class called REST-easy service. Now, so what I said, how can we access the methods in RESTful web service? Just by accessing the URL, right? Right or wrong? Yes. So now, okay, yes, we are accessing using URL. So we need to write a business method. So what we will write? We will write public say welcome REST-easy. Within that, okay, we'll return the response. We need to return some response, right? And what I do, we just try to take a parameter string name. Hey, I think there is some noise. Can you mute it? We'll use path param. So path param is used to, actually it's of type web service. The path param is used to get the parameter value. Or parameter or anything. Right? And what are we doing? Whenever this method is called, we are saying return some response. And what is that response? We will just try to print string result is equal to my rest easy example. And what is the message you are doing? You are printing and what is the return type? Return is response. So it should be of type response dot status. So if the response is right and the request is served properly, the response should be 200. So what does 200 indicate? That the status is correct. The response is okay. So the request is serviced and the response is returning perfectly fine. So 200 says the return response is perfect. And what are you returning? An entity of result dot width. So what you are doing? You are building a response. Alright, and what is that response? You are building a response from the result. So you are trying to return this result to the URL, whatever you're calling this method. Okay, but how can we say that this is the method that it should call? Correct? How can we ensure that this is the method that it should call? We can just say that it is a get method. So that it is a get method. Okay, that's fine. And how can we say that this is the only method that it should call? We can just say at the rate of path, what we are passing? A parameter. What is the name of the parameter?
Name.
Name. So we are passing. So whenever we are passing a parameter in the URL, then it identifies this as the method. Okay, what if multiple services are having the same kind of parameter? How can we differentiate? Right, we can differentiate using this. So you'll specify at the rate of class, you'll specify path. So to the class level itself, you're specifying path. Whenever the path is slash RESTEasy or welcome. So whenever the path is welcome, I'm saying, okay, execute this class. Okay. With welcome, if I'm passing the parameter name also, then execute this method. Make sense? Is it clear? Is it clear, guys, or no? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's about the configuration. Now, how can we implement? Okay, please explain line 50 again. Okay, so we are returning the response back. Okay, so we are calling this method. After calling this method, we need to send the response back to the user, right? Saying, okay, I received some input from you. So I'm receiving some response. What is the input that I have received? Slash welcome by passing the username. So whenever I feel that there is some response, I'm using that input and I'm returning the response. So how can I send the response back? If the request is done properly, then status of yeah. If the request is done properly, the status of the response will be 200. So what is HTTP status 200? So if you go to Google and find out, so what is HTTP 200?
Request is success.
Request is success. So that is what we are telling, right? Once the request is processed and its request is success, what is the request we are doing here? Just executing this method, nothing else we are doing. So that means we are saying by default, yeah, it is success. Okay, if it is success, what are you doing? You are returning result. So what is the result you are constructing here? It's fine.
Welcome to my REST easy.
Make sense? Is it
Yeah.
clear? Yeah. So now you have added your REST easy dependency and you have added your RESTful service. Now, what you need to mention? You need to tell your web.xml that you are using. You are using REST-easy. So go to your web.xml and map it. How can you map it? So we'll just go and find the same thing. What we will do? We can't remember everything, so we'll just go to Google and find out some web.xml. Okay, so we can just copy this web.xml. Oops. So what does this says? This says that it uses REST-easy. So you're using REST-easy API, right? So you need to specify auto scan RESTful services. So you're automatically scanning all the RESTful services, right? And you need to add this parameter, context parameter. So why it says you're saying that you need to access your application using /REST, so that you're specifying your context. All right, make sense? So what is this listener class? Listener class. So what does it says? So when your server starts up and your application is invoked, you are saying that I want to use REST-easy plugin. So listener is a class that will be invoked when the server is started, when the application starts up. Make sense? Okay, fine. Now, what is the final thing? Our servlet, main servlet mapping. What is the URL mapping? URL mapping is whenever we call slash rest slash star slash rest slash anything, then call rest easy servlet. And what is rest easy servlet? Rest easy servlet is this. Make sense?
Venkat, here we are using JBoss,
Yeah, rest easy.
JBoss server.
No, we are not using JBoss server. We are using Tomcat only. But REST easy is part of JBoss. There are different implementations we have, right? That's what I mentioned. So REST easy is something that is implemented by JBoss.
Okay.
Make sense or no? No?
Means
Okay. To keep it simple, we have different frameworks, right? Like Struts, Spring, Hibernate. So
yeah.
Struts is done by org.apache. Spring is implemented by org.spring framework. Like that, REST is implemented by org.jboss.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Okay. So now we are done with our application. That's it. So we have built our RESTful web service. So we will try to run this application. Okay, application is started. Okay, what is it we are saying? What is the URL?
Welcome.
Yeah, but welcome. But what type of welcome? We are saying here in the web.xml paths with slash rest. So you need to add rest also. Then you need to give welcome. So why it is doing that? Whenever the URL pattern is slash rest slash anything. So we are using slash rest slash anything, which is welcome. So when we do this, it will come to this class. But welcome, what is the method? This method expecting some parameter, right? What if we don't give that parameter? It's not giving us any result back, right?
Yeah.
Why it is not giving us any result back? Because we are not getting,
There is no methods in that class.
yeah, no methods in the class which does not access the parameters. What is that it takes? It takes some parameter. So John. Now what is it happening? It is identifying a method with pattern slash welcome and a method with takes parameter. Okay, what we will do, we'll just try to write a method without parameter. All right. So now, see, is it working? I'm not passing any parameter. So it is building this method. Why? Because we are not passing any parameter. So by default, it will call this method. Why? We are giving welcome. Got it? Make sense?
Yeah.
What if we pass a parameter? It will call this one. We're passing the parameter David. It will give you. All right. Is it clear, guys?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. So that is about REST easy. REST is the implementation of RESTful website.
Venkat,
Mhm.
um, we are like whatever the parameter we are passing, we are saying it as string, right?
We are saying it as
Means the name.
uh-huh.
The name we
Uh-huh.
declared it as string.
Right.
So you gave here John or David or something like what are real names.
Uh-huh.
Like if we give something different, like other than names like Java or
Anything it will
something local,
anything.
then also it will give to Respo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever you give it will take.
Okay.
Something. It expects something.
Okay. Yeah. So if we give numbers also, then it will take you. Okay.
Yeah, anything it will take.
Okay. And one more thing, Venkat. Like
Yeah.
yeah. So in real time, do we really use like this REST
Yeah, it depends on the companies.
easy
It depends on the companies. See,
slash REST and all that? Like
no. Actually, generally, this is our project name we have created. Rust Easy is the project name we have created. So that is the reason we are using that path. So generally, when you get into the companies, it will be a different pattern, different path, or different name. Right? For our understanding, for us to differentiate what type of project you are working, I have created the name as Rust Easy. That's it.
yeah. Yes. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. So, is it clear, guys, everyone? Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what is the other one?
Jersey.
Jersey. So, how can you implement Jersey? Right? So, here we are getting only the text HTML format response, right? HTML response. Correct? Now, what we will do? We will just try to get, we will try to get the value in the form of JSON. What is JSON? We will try to get the value in the form of JSON. So what is JSON? JSON is JavaScript object notation. So if you send some data that is accessible for JavaScript, then the data is known as JSON, JavaScript object notation. So generally JSON is nothing but a text file or a properties file. It is like a text file or a properties file, which will be in the form of key value pairs. All right, make sense? Okay. So what is a property? See, if you see,
Yeah.
when we discussed struts action errors, this is key value pair. Key is this, and value is.
Instance file.
So JSON is also nothing but a properties file, a similar properties file. Properties file will be having extension as dot properties, and JSON will be having extension as dot JSON. Make sense? Alright, see till now in this REST is example, we just try to retrieve only HTML content. Just we are returning something, HTML content. What if you want to have the response back in the form of JSON, which is understood by JavaScript? How can you do that? So for that we can use the RESTful Jersey API, REST implementation of Jersey. How can you do that? So for that we will create a new project again. Jersey. Okay, I'm closing this. Alright, so which is REST Jersey. So we'll try to add you ready? Server runtime. So what is it we have to do? We have to use Jersey dependent jars, correct? Right? So for that we will add a dependency. What dependency we will add? Jersey. So Jersey is from com.fun.jersey and the name of the jar is Jersey server and version is 1.8. Now we are using Jersey server, but we are interested in returning JSON as well, right? So we will use Jersey JSON also dependency. Jersey server and Jersey JSON. Make sense? This is about creating dependencies of Jersey in our project. That's it. Now we are done with our dependencies. What is that we have to do? We have to create a simple object. So in this we'll create a package. We'll create a simple class called student, and in this we'll add string address. So we are just getting two variables, two properties. Make sense? Right? So we have just created a variable. Now what we have to do? This variable, or sorry, this object, we will try to convert it to JSON. So that JavaScript or HTML can use the JSON and manipulate it. Okay, so we have written a simple object. Now what is that we have to do? We have to write our main service, right? Jersey service. That what you will do? You will write a method public fetch student or get student as JSON. The functionality. Right? What are we trying to do? We are trying to convert the student object as a JSON. Right? So now, what is the return type? It is a student. So what we will do? We need to create a student object first. Right? And we will return student. So what is that we are saying? We have just created an object. So we have just created a method that takes get student as JSON. So student equal to new student, but we are returning a student object. But are we returning a student JSON? No, right? So how come the method will understand that it needs to convert to JSON? So there is annotation called produces and media type as what type of media type that you need to produce? Application underscore JSON. So it converts the student to JSON file. Alright? Okay. Now that's fine. So but how can it specify that this method is the one that needs to be executed? We'll specify path at the rate of path. And what is the path? Say
Jersey.
student. Yeah, anything. I'll give get student. Or if you want anything, you can just give anything. That doesn't matter. And what type of a method it is?
Yes.
Alright. So we have written a simple service which returns everything. Alright. Now,
Venkat, where we use put method?
if you want to update something to the server, then you'll use put.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So you guys can try examples, different examples with put post.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yeah. So public class Jersey service. So what we will do? We will just try to create path to this also, because there can be multiple services, but we want to say, okay, I want to access only this one. How can I specify the path? So we can specify the path to class level. Say welcome. All right. So we are done with our function. One thing, but where are we converting it to JSON? Are we converting it to JSON anywhere? Right? We are not doing that, right? So we have to do that in the student class. How can we do that? We need to override string to string method. So if you override to string method, what it will do? It will return student. It will return the student as string. Student. What are the parameters the student has? Name.
Name
Name is name. And what else?
address.
Address. Address is oops. Alright. Got it? So now you are done with this as well. Okay. So you are done with your student object, you are done with your service, and you are done with your form. Then what is the main other thing you need to specify? Web.xml.
.xml.
So in web.xml you need to specify your program that I'm using
Jesse.
Jersey. So what we can do, we can just try to get a web.xml example from we can just count. So it says this is the web.xml. Okay. It is throwing some error. What is that error? Okay, web app is not correctly formulated. So we'll try to get the web.xml from a different REST project. How does the web.xml looks like? You need to copy this. Alright, so here what are you specifying? You are specifying when the URL pattern is /rest and /star, then execute this servlet. What is this servlet? This servlet is this, and it is nothing but Jersey. And what is the package we are returning to? It is com.jersey. So you need to change your package to com.jersey so that it will try to. Also, we are saying that we need JSON as well. So it tries to convert the simple object to JSON. See, what is the parameter we are doing? Jersey API JSON. What is the name? Pojo mapping feature. So Pojo means our student object, right? So we are converting the student to JSON. All right. So now we are done with the mapping. If we try to run your application, Yeah, the server is starting up. Okay, still the server is starting. Okay, it says it is taking lot of time. So what we will do, we'll just try to remove all of the other applications. We have all these applications, right?
Yeah.
We'll just try to remove them. Because it is taking a lot of time to load all other applications as well. Okay, it is started. And also another thing, okay, let me complete this. So what is the URL? Localhost. What is the project name?
Yes.
REST Jersey. REST Jersey. And what is the path?
Welcome.
Not welcome. But before welcome, we have something REST also. We are saying if the URL request is REST comma welcome. So we need to add REST also. Now welcome. And what is it we are calling? Welcome slash. Welcome means it will come to this class. And within welcome, what is the other path we have?
Get student.
Get student. So if we give get student, see you are getting the JSON as your response. Got it? So you can use this JSON content anywhere.
Okay.
Make sense? Is it clear? And also, this rest is not mandatory. I just added to differentiate. So here, you can just remove this rest also. Whatever the path, URL path, it will take. So, which if we just restart the server, so we just give rest just is our application name. And what is the class? Welcome. And within that welcome, we have get student. Now, if we do this, even then also we'll get the same.
Hmm.
Is it clear, guys? Okay. Everyone? Bala, Likita,
Yeah.
Monica, Naresh, Nikhil, Sainath, Vani. Understand?
Yeah.
This is about
Yeah.
the RESTful APIs as well. Alright? So this is about our whole Java learning. So we have covered almost everything which are required for us to perform as a Java developer. Correct? Right? So now are you guys confident that you can perform something?
I
Hello?
need to have
Yeah.
more practice.
Yeah, see, that is your job. So I am done with my job to explain something to you guys so that you guys can do something without any difficulties. Right? So now it is up to you guys to practice. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you learned something out of these 45 days?
Yeah.
Yeah, William.
Lot.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And also what is the other thing? Yeah, so you can go through the recording, right? And yeah, let me know in case of any questions. Also, I have sent you the interview document as well, right? The interview questions long back.
Yeah.
So go through those as well. And if you have any questions, you guys can just email me. If not, I am not responding through email. Just message me in the group so that we can discuss in the group.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Then yeah, that's all. So tomorrow onwards, we'll not be having the sessions, so you can enjoy. So no more spending time.
వెంకట్
Yeah.
యా ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ కూడా పంపించరా
Yeah. So I'll send all the programs. So today we have learned what are the things. Yeah, REST is the REST RC, Spring MVC. So all these I will send.
యా ఓకే
So anything else? I mean Hibernate, till Hibernate I have sent already,
యా
right? So I'll be sending all these 4 then. Okay?
యా
Yeah, I'll be sending this along with this recording.